Good afternoon, students. I hope you are all safe and enjoying at your home. So today we are going to take the class on the topic that is the tissues. Okay. So before starting this tissues, first a general introduction about the cell. Okay. So cell, you all know that is the basic unit of life. So all the living organisms which is present on this earth or which you see around you, it can be animal, it can be birds, it can be insects, it can be us being a human being. So we all are made up of these cells. Okay. So cells, we can say they are the structural and functional unit of life. Okay. So a big question arises that what is this structural and function? Okay. Now you must have seen, like in your homes, if I say your house is made up of walls. Okay. And if you see the walls are made with the bricks. Okay. So these bricks, when you arrange one over the other, as leaving no space in between, so you see when we arrange those bricks one over the other, they form the whole wall. Okay. And due to this wall, your whole house is being built up. Okay. So here we can say the basic structural and functional unit of the house is your bricks, because by the use of these bricks your whole house is being made. Okay. So similarly here also the whole body of the human beings or the animals or the birds, or you can see many living organisms around you, their body is also made up of cells. Okay. So cells, they perform different functions. Okay. They have different cell organelles inside them. They have nucleus. Okay. You find different types of cells. It can be prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Okay. So when these cells, they come together, they form these tissues. Okay. So all the cells, or we can say any type of cells which come together in a form of group, so these cells form tissues. Okay. Now tissues, if we talk in general, what do you mean by tissues? Tissues is a group of similar cells performing similar functions. That means if a group of cells are present, they will called as tissues, and when they are similar means when they look alike, or the cells which is grouping together, that will come from the same cells. Okay. So similar and performing the similar function. That means the group of cells which is coming together to form the tissues, they will have the similar function. Okay. And they will have the similar structure, or we can say the cells will be similar. It can be in form of shape, it can be in form of functions, okay, in form of the material by which they are being made. So we can say the tissues are the group of cells which has similar structure and they have similar function. Okay. Now next is they show the division of labor. They show division of labor. So what is this division of labor? So suppose if in a class there is 4 group of students and each group has been given a different work to do. For example, if group number 1 has been told to prepare the chart on physics, then group number 2 has been told to prepare a worksheet on maths. Okay. Then third group has been told to prepare any item related to craft. It can be from waste material. Okay. And the last group has been told to make we can say a birthday chart. Okay. So if those 4 groups have 5 children, so I don't think that all the children would be interested in that activity. Okay. Some want to do that craft activity, some would like to do the physics chart, some must be wanted to do the craft work by utilizing the waste materials. So all the children of those groups will have different interests. Okay. So we can say all those children in those groups has different interest. Okay. So now what the teacher will do, she will identify the students who want to go into that particular group of interest, and that student will shift amongst those 4 groups. Okay. So now the 4 groups which we have obtained, that will have the same interest. That means all the 5 students will show the same interest, they will show the same zeal, they will show the same enthusiasm to do that work. Okay, and they will put more efforts, more output would be getting from that particular group. Okay, so similarly here also the cells, when they divide, they shows division of labor. They show division of labor. Labor means when a group of cells has been formed, which is called as tissues, they will perform different function. For example, a group of cells will perform the process of respiration, that is taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide, where the food is broken down into glucose. Okay, then they will perform, some cell group of tissues will be performing the function of digestion, some can perform the function of your excretion and so on. Okay, so what we are doing, we are giving all the particular group of cells, or we can say tissues, at a specific function. So we can say that the tissues, they shows the division of labor. That means they have the capability to divide and to perform a specific function. Okay. Now next is the types of the tissue. What are the types that you find? Okay. So the first type of tissue which we are going to learn is the meristematic tissue. Okay. So in the body of a living organism, like suppose if we talk about the plant and animal, the tissues present in the plant and in the animals would be different from each other. Okay. So first of all, we will learn that what is tissue and what is plant tissue. Okay. So generally the plant tissue is divided into two parts. Okay. So first one is your meristematic tissue and second one is your permanent tissue. Now coming to the first, that is your meristematic tissues. So generally the meristematic tissues, they are called as the living tissues, or they are called as the dividing tissues, because they show the division of labor, or we can say they have the capability to divide. Okay, so that is why the meristematic, they are also called as dividing cells, or they have the capability to divide. Whereas if we talk about the permanent tissues, they are non-dividing. That means they don't show cell division. Okay, and since they don't show cell division, they are dead cells. Okay, now coming to the first, that is your meristematic tissues. Okay, so what are the characteristics, or how does the cells of these meristematic tissues look like? Okay, so here are the few characteristics which I have already written on the board. Okay, so that you can easily identify, or you can know better the structure of the meristematic tissue. Okay, so the first most important characteristics of this meristematic tissue is that it is thin walled. Okay, so what is the need of this thin wall is, as these tissues are meristematic. Meristematic means they divide. So as these tissues are dividing cells, so to make the division more easier, they have a thin cell wall. Okay, so that is why the cells of these tissues are thin. Okay. Now the second is cells are small and cuboidal. As these cells, they divide. Okay, they don't get the time to get larger in size. Okay, so as they divide, they are small. Okay, they start the division. Okay, the division of the cell starts. So that is why the cells are small, and the shape of these cells are cuboidal. Cuboidal means it is in form of a cube shape, but not exactly cube, but similar to cube. So we can say the cells are small and they are cuboidal in shape. Okay. Now the third characteristics, they have prominent nucleus. Okay. As you know about the cells, that the cells, they have a nucleus which performs the different functions of the cell. It can be excretion, it can be respiration, it can be protein synthesis, it can be anything. Okay. So since these cells are living, they are dividing, they will have a prominent nucleus, or we can say they have a brain in form of nucleus. which will help the cells to divide. So we can say that these cells, as they show the division of labor, or as they divide, or as they are dividing cells, they are living cells, so they will have prominent nucleus. Okay. Now the fourth one is they are dividing tissues. So as earlier I have told you that these cells are living. Okay, they are meristematic. They are present into different regions of the plant. So they will always show division. Okay, that means these tissues are dividing tissues. Okay, now next is they have small vacuole. Okay, small vacuole, as you know, the vacuoles, like the vacuole is the cell organelle which is found in the cell. Okay, so the function of the vacuole is to store food. So here, since the cell undergoes division and there is no function of these cells to store food, so the vacuoles found in these cells would be small. It would be very small. So the next characteristics of these meristematic tissue is that they have small vacuole. Okay, as they don't store the food, so the vacuole here would be small. Okay, now the next is they have no intercellular spaces. Intercellular spaces means they will not have any gap in between them. Okay, now if you see this diagram, the walls, they are very thin. Okay, they have a prominent nucleus. Okay, there is no vacuole inside the tissues, and you will not find any space between these cells. Okay, so that means these cells are tightly packed, and since they are tightly packed, the cells will continue to divide. Okay, so this is the next characteristics of the meristematic tissue, is that they don't have any cellular spaces, or they don't have any gap in between these cells. Okay, now this was all about the meristematic tissues. Now the next is the position of the meristematic tissue, or where you find these meristematic tissues. Now generally, if you must have seen the plant, now generally the meristematic tissue, MT is the short form of meristematic tissue. So generally these dividing cells, or we can say these meristematic tissues, they are found into two regions of the plant. So the first region is your apical meristem, or we can say apical meristem, and the second position where you find these tissues is the lateral meristem. Okay, so generally where you find these tissues is into the apical meristem and into the lateral meristems. So where is the region where you find the apical meristem? So generally you will find these apical meristem at the root tip and your shoot tip. So generally these cells would be present at the tip of the root, okay, and the shoot tip, okay, or the word which we can use in place of tip is the apex, okay. So we can see these apical meristem at the root apex and the shoot apex, okay. So now next is the lateral meristem. Lateral meristem is present in the girth region. Girth region means if this is your stem, this is the nodes where your leaf arises. Okay, so this region is called as your lateral meristem. So generally you will find these lateral meristem in the stem part. Okay, and this lateral meristem, it helps in increasing the diameter of the stem. Okay, it will help in increasing the diameter. Okay, so lateral meristem, it is found in the stem part. Okay, and this lateral meristem, it helps in increasing the diameter of the stem. So similarly, if you are finding the apical meristem in the root tip or the shoot tip, it will help in increasing the height of the plant. Okay, like suppose if my whole body is the plant, so you will find the apical meristem on the tip. Okay, this is the shoot tip, so you are going to find this apical meristem here on the tip part, and my bottom part, that means my foot, that will be the shoot tip, or we can, that will be the root tip. Okay, so you are going to find these apical meristem at the shoot tip and at the root tip. Similarly, this lateral meristem, if my lower abdominal portion is the stem. Okay, so you are going to find these lateral meristem into this outer part of the stem. Okay, you are going to find this into the stem region, which will help in increasing the diameter. Okay, so this was all about today's topic, that was position of meristematic tissues, what are tissues, and characteristics of meristematic tissues. In later class, we will carry with the permanent tissues. Thank you, students.